and government spending happening with Doge and Elon Musk and President Trump, President Donald J. Trump has pledged to protect our seniors by refusing to sign any bill that cuts funding for Medicare or Social Security. Let's watch what he had to say. I think President Trump would rather cut off money to war and foreign spending before ever cutting off money to our great American people. Let's watch this together.
We fix our tax system. We could also cut colossal amounts of government waste, fraud, and abuse, of which there's a lot. But tonight, I restate my pledge from the campaign. I will not sign any bill that cuts even a single penny from Medicare or Social Security for our great seniors. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. We'll not touch those benefits in any way, shape, or form. I want to use that because during the campaign, they had these fake ads that Trump is going to cut Social Security. No, they're the ones that are going to cut it because the country's going to go bankrupt under them. And that's why it's going to cut, because they're not going to have a choice. Not that they're saying we're going to cut it, but our country was heading for absolute bankruptcy. Using reconciliation, I also look forward to working with you to make our energy policies permanent and making our historic deregulation efforts a fixture of U.S. law so that no future president, like they did with Anwar. I got Anwar approved. Nobody could do it, including Ronald Reagan in Alaska. It's the largest site, potentially the largest site in the world, larger than Saudi Arabia. And I got it done. Ronald Reagan couldn't get it. Nobody could get it done. They tried, but they couldn't get it done. I got it done. And the first thing they did was end Anwar in Alaska. The biggest, most powerful site, maybe anywhere in the world, that we got it done. And we're going to get it done again very quickly. Now, I think I do it with an executive order because they didn't go through Congress. I got it approved through Congress. So I think we get it done fast. But it's going to be, that can supply all of Asia with its location. All of Asia can be supplied by Anwar. So there's so many things, but we don't want to have any future president ever sabotage our economy with out of control regulations as the last two Democrat presidents have done. They went.
All right. So President Trump is saying, listen, we don't have to go bankrupt as a nation. We don't have to stop helping our seniors. We don't have to get rid of Social Security and Medicare. We can do it. We just have to reprioritize, and we have to make America rich again. And then he goes on to talk about all of that liquid gold under our feet. So anyone that watches me that's in a position with Medicare or Social Security, President Trump has your back. President Trump also showed that he truly cares about our children by banning gender-affirming care. The Biden administration, on the other hand, has been all over the place when it comes to gender-affirming surgeries for minors, supporting it 1 minute and backtracking the next. A White House spokesperson under Biden previously stated, "These are deeply personal decisions, and we believe these surgeries should be limited to adults. We continue to support gender-affirming care for minors, which represents a continuum of care and respect for the role of parents and doctors in this decision." They added, as President Biden has repeatedly said, it's wrong that extreme officials are pushing hateful bills, targeting transgender children, terrifying families, and criminalizing doctors. These are our kids. These are our neighbors. This is cruel, and this is callous. So in one breath, they agreed that surgery should be limited to adults. In the next breath, they say it should be allowed for kids. This is why nobody likes the Democrat Party. Many psychologists have said most of these situations where a boy might think it's a girl and wants to dress up, or a girl might be a little bit more of a tomboy, most of this resolves itself. Transgenderism rose as teachers started saying it was okay. So now we're getting that out of the schools, and we're banning these surgeries that literally ruin people's chemical makeup, their endocrinology, their hormones, and their lives. President Trump is getting that out. Now, President Trump has never been a vocal supporter of transgender policies. He is taking a bold stand to protect future minors from irreversible medical procedures. In a post on Truth Social, he said, It is my great honor to sign an executive order banning the chemical castration and medical mutilation of innocent children in the United States of America. Our nation will no longer fund, sponsor, promote, assist, or support so-called gender-affirming care, which has already ruined far too many precious lives. My order directs agencies to use every available means to cut off federal financial participation in institutions which seek to provide these barbaric medical procedures that should never have been allowed to take place. He also signed saying that if any school is taught teaching critical race theory or confusing gender ideology, boom, they will immediately lose funding from the federal government. In addition, any medical system caught promoting transgender surgery of minors, not adults, but of minors, boom, they will lose that financial assistance from the government. Thank you, President Trump, for taking issue and protecting our children. It's deeply disturbing to think that any parent would allow their child to make such a life-altering decision at a young age. There's a reason they're not considered adults until they're older. There's a reason they can't join the military till they're older, vote till they're older, drink alcohol till they're older, smoke cigarettes until they're older, and rent a car until they're older. Changing their gender not only permanently alters their physical appearance, but has serious long-term effects on their hormones and endocrine system. When a child is an adult, they can make a decision for themselves. Not nearly as many people would go through with it if they had a fully developed brain and didn't have a teacher secretly whispering in their ear, it's okay that you want to be a boy. Now, shifting focus, the Trump administration has addressed calls for federal employees to continue working remotely as a response. The administration is now permitting federal workers to take a deferred resignation, allowing them to formally resign and get pay through the month of September. In the business world, this is basically like buying out your contract, but then down the road, you're not going to work for the company anymore. Now, the Trump administration sent an email to officials which stated you will retain all pay and benefits regardless of your daily workload and will be exempted from all applicable in-person work requirement until September 30th, but you must resign and you must agree to stop working for the government. While this decision has angered many people, White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt defended President Trump by stating, American taxpayers pay for the salaries of federal government employees and therefore deserve employees working on their behalf who actually show up to work in our wonderful federal buildings. Also paid for by taxpayer. If they don't want to work in the office and contribute to making America great again, then they are free to choose a different line of work. The Trump administration will provide a generous payout of 8 months. Now, according to the senior administration official, he expects 5 to 10% of the federal workforce to quit, which would save the American taxpayer $100 billion. This is a smart way to remove inefficiency from the system. I appreciate President Trump and Doge going to work on our behalf. Right now, close to 52% of federal buildings remain empty because nobody is showing up to work. Calling Social Security or HHS sometimes has wait times as long as 3 hours. Many of these people are also working double jobs, which means they're getting 2 paychecks, and President Trump is going to put a stop to that. I'll tell you more about that later in this broadcast. Now, after over 3.5 hours of questioning yesterday, Senate members are still in consideration of whether to make RFK Jr. the head of HHS. The heated debate was mainly due to his views on vaccines and his ability and desire to sue members of Big Pharma over Medicare and Medicaid fraud, making sure that medicines are safe for the American people. For instance, Senator Ron Wyden, a top Democrat, stated the receipts show that Mr. Kennedy has embraced conspiracy theory quacks and charlatans, especially when it comes to the safety and efficacy of vaccines. He's made it his life's work to sow doubt and discourage parents from getting their kids life-saving vaccines. However, Robert Kennedy quickly shut him down, stating, "News reports have claimed that I am anti-vaccine or anti-industry. I am neither. I am pro-safety. I support the measles vaccine. I support the polio vaccine. I will do nothing at HHS that makes it difficult or discourages people from taking anything." If confirmed, Kennedy would oversee 18 major federal agencies responsible for the nation's food, medicine, and health. Agencies such as CDC, FDA, NIH, and CMS. Now, fortunately, Kennedy has strong supporters on his side. For example, billionaire Nicole Shanahan has pledged to fund primary challengers against 13 U.S. senators if they oppose RFK Jr. Here's what she wrote over on Twitter. "I will make it my personal mission that you lose your seat in the Senate if you vote against the future health of America's children. To Senator Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Bill Cassidy, Tom Tillis, James Lankford, Cory Booker, John Fetterman, Bernie Sanders, Catherine Cortez Masto. This is a bipartisan message, and it comes directly from me. While Bobby may be willing to play nice, I won't. If you vote against him, I will personally fund challengers to primary you in your next election, and I will enlist hundreds of thousands of Americans to join me." Pretty crazy, right? I think she means business. Now, one of her own children was vaccine damaged and has autism. She wants answers. She doesn't know why, but she wants Bobby Kennedy to figure it out. And so therefore, anybody that opposes him, they will have to answer to her and the billions of dollars she is willing to spend to get them out of office. Please get Mitch McConnell out. Please get Lindsey Graham out. Please get Lisa Murkowski out. All right, now I've got some really big stories that I want to share with you. But first, just a word from today's sponsor. I've got incredible news for Patriot business owners. We're stepping into what could be the greatest economy in American history. There's no better time now than to invest in your own business. Forget the stock market. If you own a business, your business is your greatest source of success. To make that happen, I recommend connecting with my good friend and business consultant, Alex Albaron. Alex is a fellow patriot, a proud member of Trump's Mar-a-Lago, a Christian, and an expert in online marketing and sales. I've used Alex to help build multiple businesses for me and my wife. Now, we are coming into the golden age of America, MAGA 2.0. Alex is offering a free consultation to business owners in my community to work with him to grow your business. Just go to alexalbaron.com/Stephen to book a free call. There's no pressure. He's all about education. Some more news. President Trump has won a lawsuit against Mark Zuckerberg. But he must pay $25 million for taking down President Trump's Facebook profile and blocking the President of the United States from communicating with Americans. This is huge. Now, the $25 million will be paid out. The courts agree under this acceptance of responsibility that it damaged President Trump's reputation, blocked his ability to communicate with the American people, and cost him millions and millions of dollars. I, for one, am really grateful. After all, Mark Zuckerberg is the reason that we got Joe Biden. I want to believe that he's trying to have penance and repent of his sins and come back to common sense. Whether he's a MAGA or not, I don't care. But you can't spend $450 million to get Biden elected and then not have some blowback for ruining the country. All right, Alex Jones and his team have pointed out the new brutal yet legal way that President Trump is removing bloat from the federal government. In addition to giving them a 9-month salary for leaving federal government employment, President Trump announced that he plans to investigate every single one of them if they took a salary while also pretending to do work for the federal government. You see, the American taxpayer funds the government, and they're finding out that many federal employees working from home took benefits from the federal government while working for a different company. Now, let me show you this, and we will watch it together. Let me make sure that I have this all queued up. There we go. Here we go, President Trump.
Their home. As federal employees, they must meet a high standard. They're representing our government. They're representing our country. If they don't agree by February 6th to show up back to work in their office, they will be terminated, and we will therefore be downscaling our government, which is something that the last 10 presidents have tried very hard to do but failed. Most of the people we're talking about have not been going to their federal offices in many, many years, from even before COVID. But they have nevertheless been paid. Some have worked, some haven't worked, and most of the studies say that some have just gone through the motions. We may ask these people to prove that they didn't have another job during their so-called employment with the United States of America, because if they did, that would be unlawful. As you understand, a lot of people are getting paychecks, but they're actually working other jobs. So they'll have to prove that to us, that they weren't. In any event, we're requiring them to show up to work or be terminated. We think a very substantial number of people will not show up to work, and therefore our government will get smaller and more efficient. And that's what we've been looking to do for many, many decades, frankly.
All right. So it took a businessman, President Trump, Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, to come up with this idea. Let us buy out your contract. You don't have to show back up to work. We will pay you. It'll save $100 billion. If you are going to be here, you better show up on February 6th in office and be prepared to work a full work week in the office, or you're fired. You're fired, right? He wants a government paid for by the people to work for the people. Lastly, you have to prove that you have not been double dipping. You cannot work for the federal government and have another job during the same hours. If you're found out, that's unlawful, and he's going to come after you. So thank you, Alex Jones, for pointing this out. Let me know over in the comments, what do you think? Some people might say this is Trump being a little bit too brutal, but I think it's great. And I'm actually looking forward to it. Now, since being sworn in, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has wasted no time making bold moves with the military. He has instructed the Pentagon's Inspector General to immediately investigate the actions of retired Joint Chief Chairman General Mark Milley. Additionally, Pete Hegseth has announced that he is immediately pulling Milley's General Milley's security detail and security clearance. Boy, that was a mouthful. And plans are also in place to demote him from his high rank as general. Hegseth's chief of staff, Joe Casper, stated, "Undermining the chain of command is corrosive to our national security, and restoring accountability is a priority for the Defense Department as well as President Trump's leadership. At this time, there is no clear timeline for how long the investigation will last. General Milley has a controversial history for attempting to convince Trump to alter his plans. For instance, Trump aimed to withdraw all troops from Syria in 2018. General Milley persuaded him to leave them behind. Some of them were physically injured. We also know that General Milley, on multiple occasions, admitted on camera that he planned to tell China if the United States was going to take military action against China. We also know from written and verbal testimony that General Mark Milley was the one that blocked President Trump from giving 10,000 National Guard troops on January 6th of 2021 when the January 6th debacle at the Capitol happened. So DOD head Pete Hegseth is demoting him, investigating him, will likely court-martial him, and has removed his security clearance and his security protection. Let me know over in the comments what you think about this. So much going on. It's like drinking from a water fountain, not a water fountain, a water hose. My goodness, I must need lunch. Anyway, thank you guys so much for stopping by today. If you're a business owner, check out Alex Alberon. He has been instrumental in helping me with my own business, and he's a great guy. Check out that link down below. All right, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, stay amazing, and I will see you on the next